about a decade at the youth program. An outstanding advocate for Dover football, a real mentor to our youth program that tried to span the gap between the youth and the high school, and continues to be a strong proponent for the youth program. Played quarterback, linebacker, and running back for the teams of 86, 87, and 88. He graduated in 1989, Mr. Scott Mack. Fullback from the class of 1989, number 81, Eric Kemker. I am not responsible for the accuracy of what is on the card. It says fullback. I don't know. All right, tight end. All right. Another one of the Miller clan, outstanding athlete, as is evidenced by all the accolades that came his way. He played in 86 and 88 Iron Hills champion teams, graduated in 1989, was the heartbeat of those teams as quarterback and defensive back, number 12, Glenn Miller. This young man, I remember watching him run, and I swear, it looks like you put a uniform on him right now, he'd run you over again. He was number 44, graduate of 1989, played in the 86 and 88 playoff or championship teams. He was a fullback, number 44, Bill Sachs. The tight end and defensive end he graduated in 1989, played on that 88 team. He was number 41, Robert Beauvais. The center and the nose guard, who graduated in 1989, wore number 57, Mr. Bill Newton. This young man played running back and outside linebacker on the 86, 87, and 88 teams. He graduated in 1989. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Julio Santiago. This gentleman wore number 67 and graduated of the class of 1989, Mr. Bill O'Rourke. You heard from this young man earlier tonight, played offensive tackle and defensive end, graduated in 1989, wore number 78, Lee Henderson. The next individual, also a class of 89 member, played guard, wore the number 66, Aldo Nocera. This gentleman was a center, and he said he played on the 6'5" goal line, okay. Graduated in 1990, wore number 70, Chris Quayle. Next individual is a member of the class of 1991, a center, number 60, Mark Esposito. This young man played quarterback as a graduate of the 1991 team. He wore the number 10. I really enjoyed, I think it was your story on Facebook that I loved reading that the other day. He wore number 10, Keith Reedus. This gentleman played offensive guard and linebacker, graduated in 1991 and played on the 88, 89, and 90 playoff teams. Wore number 66, Dave Miller. Good guy and a very enthusiastic supporter of Dover football. Played halfback and linebacker. He was a co-captain and a 3-year starter, he writes on here. All right. He was a state finalist and graduated in 1992, still lives in the area, Mr. Eli Harris. Know this young man very well. Watched his career, watched him when he went off to school and broke all types of records. Tremendous running back and defensive back. Played on the 89 and 91 teams that were playoff teams. He graduated in 1992 and went on to perform quite well in his college career. A very, very strong running back, Mr. Bruce Ryans. This gentleman was, again, one of the, you've heard from him earlier tonight, played running back, graduated in 1993, wore the number 20, and was really instrumental in putting things together for tonight, Mr. Michael Gilbert. Love this guy, and I echo what someone said earlier, he is a tremendous coach. He understands the nuances of this game, unlike almost anybody I've ever met, and can communicate it in a very passionate way. Played offensive guard, middle linebacker. Knowing him, I know that the coaches probably saved him from who knows what, but put him on the right path. He played on that 1992 undefeated state championship team. He wore number 55. His name is Jeff Corbett. The next individual played offensive tackle on that 1992 team. Undefeated state champion, okay. Number 68, and his name was Julius Blakely. Oh, okay, so there was a little bit of an order to this, I guess. All right, played and graduated in 1993 on that 92 team. He was the nose guard. Number 69, Felix Trochet. The halfback and defensive back on the 1992 team, a graduate of 1993, wore number 34, Bobby O'Boyle. Also a member of the 1992 state championship team, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, number 70, Doug Smith. Another man I just enjoyed watching play, and I suspect he's going to be in the running for the player of the era. He played on that 92 undefeated state championship team. I think I read somewhere this week that he had over 3,500 yards rushing in his high school career. Played fullback and defensive end. Number 35, Jesse Williams. I guess this is a typo because it says 1993 undefeated state championship team, and we all know they didn't win it in 1993. This individual played linebacker and fullback, a member of the class of 1994. We're number 37, Chris Udina. This individual, known for a long time, halfback, D-back, kick returner, and punt returner, played on that 1992 team. This isn't his name. It says Dave Holman, but we all know him better as Turtle. Dave Holman. This gentleman, you heard from him earlier tonight, offensive guard, linebacker, and kicker. He wore number 57, graduate of 1994, Victor Cataldo. Enjoyed watching this young man play. Competed against him as a coach in the youth leagues. He played quarterback and defensive back, also a member of the 1992 team. Wore number 11, Roy Maltz. This gentleman was a pleasure to watch as well. Played on the 1992 team. as a running back and a safety. He was a graduate in 1995, and ward number 8, Mike White. This young man played on the 1996 state championship team. He was a fullback and quarterback, ward number 10, Edgar Rodriguez. The next individual, ward number 67, played on the 1992 team as a center and nose tackle, and his name is Brian Burge. The tight end and defensive back on that 1992 team, graduated in 1995, ward number 38, Trev Antoine. The next individual was a tight end and defensive end, played in the graduated in 1996. Guess he wore a couple different numbers, number 90 and 76, Martell Ellis. I'm real familiar with this next young man. I know he's not here, he had to leave, but he wore number 57 on that 1996 state championship team. And I remember sitting in Giant Stadium beaming with pride because he accomplished something that his big brother was never able to do, and that was get that state championship. He played guard and defensive end. My younger brother, not so little anymore, but Justin Cheatham. The split end on that 1996 team, who wore number 28, John Rivera. Also a member of that 1996 state championship team, wore number 5, good friend and a good guy, halfback and cornerback. We heard from him earlier today in the earlier session, Mr. DeRay Taylor. This individual played defensive and offensive tackle on that 1996 undefeated state championship team. He wore number 70. And I said earlier today, if we had linemen this big, we would have won a state championship too. But Alan Bell. And this is a repeat, so I don't think we need to go there again. Is there anybody that was here that was omitted? We certainly want to recognize all the players who took the time to come on out here.
George.
Oh, sorry, it was stuck together. It wasn't the last one. Number 10, quarterback and defensive back, graduate in 1987, played on that 84 state championship team and the 86 conference championship team, ward number 10, George Reedus. Now that is all the cards I have. You didn't fill out a card? Really? 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 Oh my goodness. I think I can do his by heart. He played on that 1992 undefeated state championship team. He was the water boy for a long time before that. He wore number 77 and played defensive tackle. Really good guy. Also one of the driving forces behind this event tonight and the Alumni Association, which he announced earlier today. Man, I'm proud to call my friend, Mr. Tony Cento. You didn't fill out a card either? My quarterback played quarterback for he graduated in I'm sorry?
Foundation year.
That's right, he played during the foundation year. You know, without a foundation, everything crumbles, right? The first starting quarterback for Coach Tardivi, Mr. Matt Shabilla. I think that may be it. Thank you all for your time, and let's give a big hand to Dover football.
I guess we have two long talkers here.
call up Coach Keimel, please. Roger Keimel. Today, we had a team session, closed door, players and coaches only, and we took the Tardivi era from Steve Gorog all the way up into Mike White, and we had all the players on the ballot, and we voted for the outstanding player of the era. The results were sealed in an envelope, and Mr. Cumming is going to say a couple words, and he will reveal the player of the era. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. Sat there for a long time. That is what it's like to coach with Chris Hickok. He'll talk, I'll sit, I'll ask them if they're ready to go, and we go out, and that's it. So I'm a man of few words. Thank you very much for having me, though. I just want to extend my thanks to the honorees. Some of them don't know how they've influenced me, just like they've influenced you. Jan Bellevue doesn't even know, but thank you for taking the time. My first week of coaching, I didn't even want to coach. My father-in-law calls me, I'm working on the farm. You all know about the farm. And he says, they want you to coach football. I said, Jim, I'm not coaching football. He says, no, you don't understand, they want you to coach football. I said, I'm not coaching football. I mean, in 82, they broke my buddy's nose when we scrimmaged them, you know, Newton and Dover, foundation years, thank you guys. I'm not coaching. He said, no, you don't understand. And I listened to his voice. I know the Jedi stuff and all that, but he says, they want you to coach football. So I'm saying, so if I want to teach in Dover, I have to coach football in Dover. Okay. And it's probably the best decision I've ever made. Jan came along and he helped me out first week, showed me the bag drills, so that he's to blame for those guys. The V on the football, a lot of other little pointers gave me about cuts and things of that nature, and I took that all the way through my career. Jim Bodner, most of you know, he's my father-in-law. So you like to hear him speak, I can't take it, okay? So I have something bad to say about Jim Bodner, okay? I do, okay? So now you've heard it, so you can't say that anymore. But more seriously, he's a tremendous man, great father-in-law, great grandfather. And as a mentor, he taught me, and you know I need this, he taught me patience and empathy. And he taught me that every single individual counts. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you, Pop. Jerry Tardivi, there's a lot I could say. I'm not going to bore you with a lot. The key to Jerry, probably more so as a football coach, because he left me alone, except for my swearing. He didn't like it. I don't know. I don't swear that much. Okay, but he said I did. But other than that, he left me alone. But as an AD, Jerry was a great mentor. I could sit in that blue chair, and I could bitch. Is that a swear word? Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. Okay, I could complain, but I could also take a lot of advice. And the thing I learned from him, more so than anything, and really watching him, he never told me this, is stop talking and start listening. You learn a hell of a lot more when you're listening and you're not talking. And I really watched him do that. I watched how he worked with people. And I've tried to do that as I got older. Not when I was younger, but as I've gotten older. So all three of you, I thank you very much for that. Okay? Just a quick word on Chris. You know, I coached with Chris for, well, he'd probably want me to say 13 years. It was really 14 years. I'll talk about the first 13. Okay? First 13 were 99, 17, and 1. Okay, so that's pretty good. And it was mostly Chris. 5 undefeated teams, 3 one-loss teams, and no team had a losing season. Well, except for 2002. Okay, no one's here from freshman year 2002, right? They went 0-7. I told him we didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go back. We had a nice run. He wanted to get that 100th win for me. I said no. And I went back. So we went back. It didn't work out. That's okay. The best thing I know about Coach Hickok is 90% of everything he did was mental, and he passed that along. And what I mean by that is being mentally tough, being mentally prepared, and having the right attitude. And we all know he's a great motivator. And real quick, when I saw him, last time I saw him, he wasn't looking good. And when I left, I was upset. You know, we spent about good 2-3 hours in a good place though. We were in Loretta's father's house, you know, right near the football field. I spent about 2-3 hours with him. And I walked out and I went in my vehicle and I was upset and then I was angry. But then I, you know, like he's taught all of us here and he taught me, he says, winners never quit and quitters never win. So I figured no matter what happened, he'd be all right, and I know he's all right now. So, that's the key to that. Again, I thank you for letting me speak a little bit. I guess you want me to open up this envelope and see who the player of the decade is, or the era, the Tardivi era. Okay. This must be a misprint. This young man is very dear to me, and without further ado, player of the era is Jesse Williams. Jesse quit about 6 or 7 times, not 3.
It really wasn't me that, that deserves this. It's my whole team, especially the line that blocked for me. Only thing I did was just run the ball. They did open the holes for me and everything. Taxi Arco, thank you for taping us up, keeping us ready for the game. Coach Spillman, thank you for having the LIB team ready for us. They did a great job. And just thank all my teammates. Thank you.
Number 15, linebacker Donny Davis.
Good evening, Dover Tigers. This is Donny Davis, class of 1986 and a member of the 1984 state championship football team. A couple of weeks ago, I got a phone call from Rodney Night Train Lane. I got to tell you, I was pretty surprised when I got that phone call because I hadn't heard from Rodney probably in about 30 years. So I asked him how he got a hold of me. He said he did some Googling and he found me on the internet. And I was really grateful that he did because he alerted me to a reunion in honor of our football coaches that we had in those years in the 1980s, and an opportunity to say thank you for the role that they played in establishing a foundation in the lives of guys like me. You know, I went from being some young kid, somewhat of a punk and a wise guy, to being someone who would be able to be a part of a great mission and a great opportunity in the United States Marine Corps, where we value things like honor, courage, and commitment. Now I say to Coach Bodner, thank you, sir, for the role that you played in my life, both in school and on the field. It was a pleasure. Coach Bellevue, same thing. I really appreciated the way your candor and your demeanor, the way you joked around with us, the way you challenged us every day. Really appreciate that. And Coach Hickok was my wrestling coach as well, and I had a lot of good years. My heart went out to him and his family when he passed away a few years ago. We used to exchange Christmas cards, and I talked to him every once in a while, and Coach Hickok played a very special role in my life, not only on the football field, but on the wrestling mat as well. And he definitely helped me become the man that I've become now. And Coach Tardivi, we really appreciate, I know I speak for all the Tigers, that the things you taught us, the things like hard work, dedication, motivation, things that still ring true today in everything that we do, things that I tap into. When we talk about country core and community here in Albany, Georgia, in this community, it rings true to them, just like it rung true back in the 1980s when you were coaching us. You took a bunch of ragtag guys. There were no superstars on our team, but you took a bunch of us and you put us in that Delaware wing tee, and you helped us run it to perfection and execute the things that we need to execute. But I just want to have a shout out. I just wanted to send a little message. Rodney, thank you, brother, for giving me the opportunity to talk to the Tigers, to all those Dover Tigers out there. I say hello. I wish I could be there with you physically, but I'm there spiritually with you. The country and the core calls, and so I'm here. I wasn't able to break free. But I do want to say thank you to all the coaches. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for helping me become the man that I could be. Thank you for the investment of your time and your energies. I will be forever grateful to you and those other teachers that took the time to invest in a guy like me. I really appreciate it. God bless you. God bless those Dover Tigers, and I hope you all have a great night. Semper Fi.
I would like to call Coach Cummings up. Earlier today, we also had another ballot, and the ballot is for Team of the Era. We nominated Coach Tardivi's 4 championship teams, which was the 1984 state championship team, the 1986 conference championship team, the 1988 conference championship team, and the 1992 state championship team. We're going to have Cummings is going to say a couple words, and then we have the sealed envelope that will honor the Team of the Era. Whoever wins, please send one representative. I don't want to get bum rushed, but a bunch of them.
All right, I don't know if asking me to open this, Rodney, tells you what's going on, but before I do, through Jerry and Jan, I got an appreciation for all the teams that came before my time in Dover. We used to watch film and meet some of the guys during different times in school, and again, I gained a lot of appreciation for those guys and the teams that preceded us, and probably had some of the kids that were on the 96 team in North Dover, so that should be all right too. So let's see what we got here. Team of the Era. Oh, 11-0, and there we go, Coach. 1992.
I'd like to call Mayor Dodd, and Jesse Williams to the front, please.
Jay, we love you, Jay.
All right, guys, we're going to give this plaque. The team picture will be on the front for 1992. We're going to give this to the town of Dover, and the current mayor is Mayor Dodd. He's going to just say a few brief words. Mayor Dodd.
Thank you, Rodney. Rodney, just after seeing what you accomplished here tonight, I have a campaign in a couple weeks, and my staff's going to be reaching out to you. This is quite the event. But I'm real honored to be here tonight to celebrate these legends here. Dover has a lot to be proud of. I also want to just take a moment and recognize all the volunteers that really put their time in to making this program successful. Without the feeder program in Dover, we certainly wouldn't have the high school team. And Scott Mack, you deserve a round of applause, and all the volunteers for the feeder program that come up to the high school. Without that, we certainly wouldn't have it. The town of Dover is really making an effort to improve recreation in the town for the kids in the community, and we'll continue to do so. Again, I'm honored to be here tonight to celebrate in this true honor to these legends. Thank you. And we'll proudly display this in Town Hall. Thank you, Rodney.
Again, I want to say thank you, and I want to call all of my friends that was on the 92 team to